based on the policies that align closest to your own. And that's how you're ranking. It's not where I like someone, but it's okay, I see 3 or 4 candidates that have policy agendas that are close to my belief system. And then, you know, maybe Tiffany is the one that I have maybe that extra affinity for. And then, you know what? If Tiffany got elected, I could see Tamika. Tamika has that, value system that aligns, and she's okay. Like, then you can begin to have a conversation of ranking when it's not one person that you like, but there is policies
Yeah, I never thought about it that
and
way.
agendas, like who's going to best represent my community policy wise.
Mhm.
I think that when we get that, I think that we will get the key to
Mhm.
ranking.
So I think Shaniqua is here. I saw you're here, right? Because I saw you logged in twice. Oh wait, she was here. What happened?
Oh, I'm still here, ladies. I'm sorry about that. Just give me a moment. I have to little. I just need to get the password to my Facebook.
I
It's
know
open.
that throws me off too because
Uh,
sometimes like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start it like Facebook. I'm gonna start streaming to Facebook once we start, and then I go to click on stream, and then I don't have I'm not logged in, so then it's like starting late. I know.
yeah. So what happens is mine actually is sent to an Internet Explorer when I open it up on Zoom, which is why, because normally it's on Chrome, it's saved, but then when it opens into Internet Explorer, the passwords are not saved. I don't always manage well, I didn't always manage my social media. I have multiple people that were managing it for me, so sometimes they change the passwords, and it's not something that's memorable. So then I have to, go into my password document. I have to keep a password doc. I would literally go crazy if I didn't. All right, almost there, ladies, almost there. By the way, Nicole, I love what you're saying, and um, we had a community board meeting in my district, and one of the things that I was trying to highlight was the fact that we should be educating people to choose more candidates and not just one, because it doesn't. You actually get more power. You have more power as a voter to choose more than one, because you get more say so, more political power. But what I've been seeing are trainers tell people, well, you don't really need to vote for more than one person. I'm like, that defeats the purpose here. So I like what you're saying. I think you need to definitely hone on that when we actually
Well,
start.
you know what it is? It's because when technically when you're voting, you don't have to rank more than one person. But
Yeah.
I usually encourage people to rank because one, and there's two things about ranked choice voting um, that makes me, I encourage people and then I explain it because we really can't tell people what to do. But one, there's no more runoff elections. So because the runoffs have been eliminated, ranked choice voting is kind of like that instant runoff situation
Yeah.
where if you don't rank a second person, you're not going to be in that second round. What I also kind of explained to people, and earlier today was interesting. I said, who are the mathematicians on the phone or on the Zoom? And in talking to them about the fact that a candidate has to receive more than 50% of the vote, when you have a multi-candidate race, it is more difficult when you have in situations like we have, you know 10 people running, 20 people running. Statistically speaking, right? Take the politics out. Statistically speaking, it's highly unlikely that someone is going to reach that majority threshold in one round.
Yeah.
And so you want to be in the game. And ranking multiple candidates, ranking up to the more candidates you rank, the longer you stay in the game. So that's kind of how I explain it when I do say, you know, we should rank more than one, but technically you can still vote for one person and it's valid. So
Thanks, Nicole. We're gonna go live in just a second. I'm a little out of breath, ladies. I'm not gonna lie. I was eating a piece of fried chicken on my way here. Oh my God, I think I said that live. But that's okay.
So do you want to tell us? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we're about to go live. So I'll open up. Tiff, you'll go right after me, and then we can go around sharing a little bit about our platform and who we are. Nicole, you have the lineup, so you should be good, right? Okay. Look, by the look on your face, I think that means yes. And then Tamika, we'll hear from you at the end. I'm gonna be in and out because I'm still giving away food, so I apologize. All right, so let's get started. Thank you so much for those of you that are tuning in and are watching this live. Please do me a favor, stop what you're doing right now and share this live video. We have amazing candidates that are on the line this evening, and we are going to be sharing some great information to you tonight. So what I want you to do again is to share that link, share this link. We want to get this message out to as many people as possible. We're going to be talking about some really important topics on ranked choice voting, as well as on petitioning, which is actually coming up. For those of you that don't know, New York City, we are going to be in primary elections in June. June 22nd, 2021 is a primary election date. What does that mean? That means that the face of our leadership in New York City is about to change. And so this session is going to talk about the new direction of New York City and how ranked choice voting will affect that. So this is really important. I always tell people ranked choice voting affects all of us. It affects our kids, our families. It's going to affect who's in leadership and also where our economy will go. It will affect what type of leaders that we will be electing. So I hope that you learn from this session. And that you learn the platforms of these amazing women of color who are with me this evening, who's going to be sharing about themselves. You already know that we're the Black Women Who Run Project, uplifting the voices of Black women and making sure that we're electing Black women into city council so that we can represent the issues that matter most to our community. So I'm going to get out the way in just a second, but those of you that don't know me, I am Shanequa, and I'm a candidate for city council in District 12, which is in Northeast Bronx. I started running for office. My journey started last year, but I made the decision to run for office years before that because I was tired of seeing the lack of resources that the Bronx was not receiving. As someone that's grown up in the Bronx, my family, my grandparents have been here for so many years. I have experienced firsthand the lack of access in public schools, in the streets, the quality of life so reduced in the Bronx. And I wanted to step up to the plate and be the leader to fight for real change, to be the real leader that will be transparent and authentic. I do not come with political experience, but I come with skill, strategy, and passion, which I think is very important whenever you're getting into leadership. So that's a little bit about me, but I'm going to now pass it over to Tiffany, who has been very influential in helping to coordinate this ranked choice voting session this evening. And then from there, you'll hear from the other candidates. Again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And for those of you that will be watching this later on, thank you so much. Continue sharing the word, and we hope that you enjoy the session. Thank you.
Hey everyone, hey y'all. Well, thanks so much for introducing me. I am Tiffany Winbush, and it is a pleasure to be with you this evening. I, as well, am a candidate for the New York City Council. I am running to represent District 1, that includes Lower Manhattan, so Chinatown, the Lower East Side, the Financial District, the Seaport, the Civic Center area, Tribeca, Battery Park City, all of the neighborhoods that encompass the Lower Manhattan. I am running to represent them on the New York City Council. It is a pleasure to be here today with so many other women, Black women in particular, who are running for office to be a part of the new face of leadership within New York City. I want to share a little bit about my priorities, but you can always visit tiffanyfornyc.com to learn more. Some of my top priorities headed into the June 22nd primary election are going to include equity in education, small business relief, and also affordable housing. I think most of us know that affordable housing has become the wayside in New York City, but there are so many people who love New York City, who want to continue to call this place home. And so we need to make sure that there is affordable permanent housing that they can afford to live here for years to come. I'm a proud parent of a New York City public school student. My daughter is a third grader. And you know what? I am happy with her education thus far. But you know what? I don't stop there. I don't just think about how my daughter's education is going. I am thinking about the education of all of our students across New York City. And unfortunately, we don't have equity in education. So we need to make sure that that equity is there so that each and every child is receiving a quality education. Finally, I just want to leave you by saying, I think all of us here know that small businesses are the backbone of so many of our communities, right? They're having an extremely difficult time due to COVID. We need to do whatever we can to ensure they're still here on the other side of COVID. And if that means, no strings attached grants to make sure that they can afford to be here, that's what we need to do. So more information about my background, go to Tiffany for NYC.com. But I'm going to hand it over to Sheba Simpson, and she can share a little bit more about her campaign for City Council as well. So go for it, Sheba.
Hi, Tiff. Hi, everyone. I am Sheba Simpson, and I am a candidate for New York City Council for District 9, which encompasses the Upper East Side, Central Harlem, Manhattanville, Morningside Heights, and Hamilton Heights. I am running because I could no longer sit around and watch my community go underserved, especially in education, in housing, and in the healthcare system, the resources that were purposely not being given to my community. And as I looked around my community and saw how many stores were shuttering in, I was in disbelief. And so I founded the Central Harlem Merchants Coalition to save small businesses and jobs, because I know that businesses are facing a true crisis. And it's unbelievable what is happening to them. And so we need to ask City Council, the sitting City Council, to take a vote on the Small Business and Job Survival Act right now that would eliminate all the needs of small businesses, not only in Harlem, but throughout New York City. In addition to our schools being terribly underfunded, we need to give them access so our students, our children will have the exceptional education that they justly deserve. And we need to implement programs that will give them more opportunities and choices, not only in getting prepared for college, but if they want to become an entrepreneur, if they want to think of the next piece of technology that will move us further into the 22nd century. So that is one of the reasons why the myriad of reasons of why I'm running for City Council, because I know that when we all win, New York wins. So I'm going to leave it to my friend, Lattina Brown, and take it away to Lattina.
Thank you so much, ladies, for having me here tonight with all of you. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Sheba. Thank you, Nicole and Tamika and Shanequa. I am so happy to be here. I'm running for City Council for District 17 to represent residents of Hunts Point, South Bronx, Longwood Avenue, Morrison, Soundview, Grand Concourse, parts of East Tremont and Crotona Park. I decided to run for office. Number one, I'm a single mother to a beautiful 10-year-old child who just made it to honor roll. I just found out yesterday, so I'm very happy. Beauty and brains. And for the past 10 years, I've seen a lot of my neighbors suffering in deplorable housing conditions. Black and brown men are not getting the resources that they need to survive in the community. We have landlords taking advantage of immigrants and senior citizens, and of course the disabled. So I decided to step up to the plate and say, I said enough is enough. It's time for me to challenge the politicians that we currently have who are seated and fight against them, because we need deeply affordable housing, real affordable housing. We need more job opportunities in the community. And we can't get that if we have developers coming into the neighborhood and buying out our neighborhood, thanks to the politicians. So I'm also fighting for education, because our educational system in the Bronx is the poorest. We have an issue with health. health is a main issue in the Bronx. We're ranked as number 62. I'm fighting to pull us out of that number 62 rank, which is the lowest. We have the highest population of diabetes, asthma, lung cancer, heart disease. I mean, I can just run through this list and go on, but I'm fighting to change that. I'm fighting to break systemic racism. I'm fighting to get more resources into my community. And it's such a shame to see that funds is coming into my community, but it's not going to the areas that is needed. It's going into other areas like Co-op City and North Bronx. No disrespect to the North Bronx residents, but we do need these resources. And I hate to see our families being disenfranchised. I'm representing the largest immigrant population in my district, and they're not getting access to these resources. So I will continue to advocate and do what I can to make sure that our needs are being met. And we also have to address food insecurities. We wouldn't have food insecurities in our community if we have the access to the resources that is needed. So I'm going to turn this over to Tamika. And once again, ladies, thank you so much for having me here.
Hi guys, and thank you for having me. My name is Tamika Mapp, and I'm running for City Council in District 8. I'm also the state committee woman for the 68th Assembly District in East Harlem. I got in this race in 2013 because my daughter committed suicide.
Oh my God.
And that keeps me going. All right. That keeps me actually moving to make sure that no kid take their life because no one in family court believes them of whatever they're going through. So I am a fighter of family court injustice. I am an advocate for foster care youth, making sure that everybody get treated fairly and to the best of their ability. I'm a small business owner, so I always fight for our small businesses to make sure that we get the funding that we need to survive in our business. Right now in the PPP, our businesses did not get it. The reason why we didn't get it because our elected officials don't want to educate our small businesses of how to keep proper books. So that's what I bring to the table to make sure that each small businesses have what they need to do so they can capture the funding as well. I am a big opponent of housing. I don't like the word affordable housing because it is not affordable in my neighborhood. I want to take Westchester's AMI out of my equation and out of my neighborhood because that's what the AMI is standing right now. If we take Westchester AMI out of our housing, then everybody in my district be able to get housing. I'm also against the 50% community preference. I feel that if you're a developer building in the community, our community is 100% preference, meaning that our community gets the first dibs before anything else gets shipped out of there. So that's a little bit about me. You can learn a little bit more on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I've been in this race since 2013 and I'm not going anywhere. So it's nice to meet you, Nicole, face to face.
Thank you. Good evening, candidates and those who are watching. I just want to say thank you all for hosting me and inviting me to conduct a presentation on ranked choice voting, which is the new, or not so new, some would say, way of voting in New York City for primary and special elections. But before I begin the presentation and start sharing my screen, I'm actually going to ask everyone to rank their favorite snack. I just put a link in the chat. You know, 1 is your most favorite, 5 is your least favorite. You know, rank the snacks that are available. Some people in the past have asked me, well, my snack is not listed. So go with the 5 that you kind of like, whatever you see here listed. So please rank your favorite snack. You don't have to create a username and password. You can type in any combination of letters and numbers and just hit enter to get access to the ranking, to the vote. Excuse me, to the mock election. And with that said, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see the ranked choice voting slide? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So just a quick recap on the upcoming changes to our local elections in New York City. So how did we get to this point? So in 2009, there was an runoff election held for public advocate and comptroller. And it was a very low turnout election, and it was a very costly election. And so that prompted the debate about the use of runoff elections. In 2010, then council member introduced the first ranked choice voting bill. We had discussions in the Charter Revision Commissions of 2010 and 2018. And in 2019, the Charter Revision Commission voted 14 to 1 to put RCV on the November 2019 general election ballot. And with a little more than 73% of the vote, ranked choice voting passed. And it was scheduled to begin in January of 2021. And we are now in February. So why are we here? In conjunction with a robust campaign finance system and the implementation of term limits, we have a wealth of diverse candidates running, not too different from yourselves. And it's happening this year as well, where we have a huge turnover in our city government with more than 35 council seats out of the 51, as well as borough presidents, the mayor, comptroller, and public advocate also running for election, and our city council members. And under the current system of voting, the person with the most votes won, which is called the plurality. But when you have a multi-candidate race, like many of these that are going to take place, where you have 6 or 7 candidates, it is quite possible for a candidate to win with approximately, 20% or less of the vote because of the sheer volume of candidates. And there walks in ranked choice voting. So we've already started, again, January 1st of 2021, all local primary elections for city council, borough president, public advocate, comptroller, and mayor will be ranked choice voting elections. We had 2 special elections so far in New York City as well. That one, we are still waiting for some results because we are now using the ranked choice voting model because no candidate received more than 50% of the first round choices. In addition, with ranked choice voting, runoffs are totally eliminated. So in the past, if a citywide candidate received less than 40% of the votes, 2 weeks later, we held a runoff election. Runoffs are no more under this new voting system. And of course, voters will have the opportunity to rank up to 5 candidates. So, what is ranked choice voting? So, let's talk about that. So, you say we have rankings 1 through 5. Your first choice, that's the candidate that you love. That's the candidate whose policies sit closest to yours. They are the one who aligns best with you and your family's needs and desires in the particular district. They're the candidate you may knock on doors for. You may provide campaign contributions. You may make phone calls for them and encourage your friends and family in the district. You say, listen, I'm going to work hard. We want to get this person elected. Vote and support them. That is your first choice candidate. And if you see an example here, candidate C was the first choice candidate. And as you can see in the first choice column, they have letter C's here, first choice column, that oval is shaded in. And this is how you identify your first choice candidate. You always look for the first choice column, and then you shade in the oval next to their name. Now, the second choice candidate, that's the candidate that you like. That's the candidate that if anything happens to your first choice candidate, this particular candidate also closely aligns with your values. And you say, you know what? If something happens to my first choice, I would be okay if this person represented me. And your third and fourth choices are some that you like a little less than your first and second, but again, they align with most of your values. And then your fifth choice is the candidate that you could live with if they were elected. And again, just showing you how that would look, you see here your second choice candidate, that was candidate B. And you see in the second choice column, in the row that corresponds with B, this oval is shaded. The third choice candidate was candidate E, and you see candidate E here. In the third choice column, the oval is shaded here. Candidate D was the fourth choice, and candidate A was the fifth choice. And now we have a little video here. Describe ranked choice voting. Okay, let's go here.
Hi, I'm Olivia Owl. Changes are coming to the way we vote. With the new ranked choice voting, the next time you vote, instead of choosing just one candidate, you can rank them all from your first choice to your last. Here's how it works. Let's say these 5 candidates all run for mayor of Animal Town. This voter ranks Lucinda as her top choice for mayor. She also ranks her second choice Diego, third choice Betty, fourth choice Roberto, and fifth choice Felix. If Lucinda wins more than 50% of all the first ranked votes, then she is the new mayor. However, if no candidate gets more than 50%, then the least popular candidate is eliminated. Sorry, Felix. The remaining second ranked votes from Felix's voters are redistributed. So if a number of Felix's voters rank Betty and Diego, then those 2 candidates receive additional votes. The new totals are counted and the process repeats until one candidate earns more than 50% of the total votes. Congrats, Diego, you're the new mayor. Back in the real world, before it's time to vote, visit Vote Different.
And that was a video from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we're going to look at the results from ranking the favorite snack. And so here we are. As you can see, with the first round of votes tally, no one received a majority of the votes. And a majority in this case, or more than 50% or 50% plus 1, would be 193 votes needed to win. So you can see candidates will be eliminated based on who is in last place. So now at the end of the first round, peanut butter and jelly received 18 votes, received the least votes of all of the snacks. And so peanut butter and jelly will now be eliminated, and peanut butter and jelly's votes will be distributed. Now, I just want to be clear about this because there's some questions. Peanut butter and jelly's votes will be distributed based on how the first choice, these 18 first choice votes, is based on who they voted second. So you have them eliminated. Now you see pretzels is in last place. Again, no one has obtained 193 votes needed to win. Fruit is in first place. Pretzels is last place. So pretzels votes will be redistributed. And this just to show you here, because I don't want people to wonder why did 2 disappear, because candy and pretzels have the same number. They're both tied for last place. So they're going to be eliminated at the same time. And this is referred to as batch elimination. So they're redistributed. Again, no one has the 193 votes. Tortilla chips is in last place. They'll be redistributed. And as you can see, nuts, hummus and veggies, cookies, and the last 2 are potato chips and fruit, which received 195 votes. Fruit is the winner of the election. Now, this is most likely what a ballot is going to look like. As you can see, council member, you see several languages here. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to write in a candidate, and you will still be able to write in a candidate in ranked choice voting elections. As you can see, there's a write-in. And if you don't like any of the candidates and your write-in candidate is your top choice, in this first column, you would shade in this oval. You write in your candidate's name here. You shade in the oval in the first choice column, and then you can continue to rank. So if Antoine was your second favorite, you go to the second column here. You see Antoine's name in the second column here. You shade in this oval. If Elizabeth is your third favorite, you shade in the third column in the row that corresponds to Elizabeth's name. If Clay is your fourth choice candidate, again, you go to Clay's name here in the fourth choice column, you shade in the oval here. Again, the row is Clay, fourth column here. And Martin may be your fifth choice. You see Martin's name here, and you go, he's your least favorite candidate. You shade in this oval here. Now, counting rounds are run after all of the ballots are counted. So this is very important. Counting of rounds only kicks in if no candidate receives a majority of the first choice votes. That's 50% plus one. The official winner is not declared until all of the votes are counted. Early election day, absentee, and affidavit ballots. Round by round vote totals are expected to be released by the Board of Elections to the general public. So this is very important. If somebody in the first round receives more than that 50% of the vote, there's no problem. We won't go into rounds. Rounds only kick in if no one receives more than 50% of the first choice votes. Now, why should voters use their ranking? This gives them their vote more power and they have more choices. So if your number one favorite candidate doesn't win, again, you still have a say in who will be elected. You can vote your conscience without worrying that you're wasting a vote. You know, sometimes you have that underdog candidate that you think, oh, they don't have a chance, so I'm not going to vote for them. In the ranked choice voting system, you can select that candidate that you really feel passionate about but may not have a shot, because if they are eliminated, your vote can then go to another candidate. So you don't have to worry about, quote unquote, wasting a vote. And ranking a second, third, fourth, or fifth choice does not hurt your favorite candidate, and I will explain why shortly. So here's some frequently asked questions. How many candidates do I rank? You can rank up to 5 candidates or as many or as few as you like. So you can still vote for one candidate if you like, or you get to rank up to 5. You can vote for 2, 3, or 4. Do I have to use all of the 5 rankings? So you don't have to use all 5 rankings. Your vote will still count if you rank 1 candidate, 2 candidate, 3 candidate, or 4 candidates. But your vote is only going to work for you if you rank as many as possible. And why do we say that? Because if you only rank 1 candidate and that candidate is eliminated, your vote will be what we call exhausted and will not be factored into the rest of the rounds of counting. So for instance, in the example shown with peanut butter and jelly, when you rank your favorite snack, if you did not select a second, third, fourth, or fifth choice, your ballot was exhausted when peanut butter and jelly was eliminated and you were not factored in to the rest of the rounds. Can I rank a candidate more than once? So the answer is no. And it doesn't help your candidate to rank them more than once. And this is one of the key things to remember about ranked choice voting. If you rank a candidate more than once and you're voting in person, it will invalidate your ballot and you will then you will have to fill out a second ballot. If you do this, the machine will spit your ballot out. If you do this when you are voting absentee, it will only count towards your first choice. And the other thing about it is remembering this key piece of information. Your vote only moves to another candidate if your previous candidate has been eliminated. So if you rank a candidate multiple times, you are actually sending your vote to someone who has been previously eliminated and they cannot use your vote. Does it hurt my favorite candidate to have a second choice? No, it doesn't. As I just explained, your vote is only looked at, your second, third, fourth, or fifth choices are only looked at if your first choice is eliminated from the race. And this is very, very important to remember. Now, some key messages. Again, starting now, Voters will have the opportunity to rank their top 5 candidates in our local primary and special elections, not in the general election in November, but just the primary and special elections for the offices of mayor, comptroller, public advocate, borough president, and city council. So for all the Manhattanites out there, we have a district attorney's race that will not be ranked choice voting. Only mayor, comptroller, public advocate, borough president, and city council. You get to rank your votes and not worry about wasting a vote, helping another candidate, splitting a vote, or having someone who is elected with less than a majority of support from their districts. And this is some information, Rank the Vote NYC, and I will drop my contact information in the chat for anyone who's interested in hosting a similar presentation. And with that, I will stop sharing. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question, and I first of all, I want to say thank you, Nicole. You are definitely an educator, so I appreciate you explaining this in a way that I feel like it finally makes sense to me. I brought this up in my community board meeting, and the question was about what type of education is going to be provided to poll workers to make sure they're giving adequate and right information to voters when they come into vote and cast their vote in June. So I was just interested in knowing about that. Also, whether New York City was thinking about, and I'm not sure if you know this, it's probably more of a conversation, but whether New York City was thinking of allocating money towards the budget to really educate our community about this, because I think we really need to do a better job as a city in amplifying this and getting the information out.
And so that is a great question. In terms of poll workers, the Board of Elections is responsible for training the poll workers, and it is my understanding that they plan to train them on ranked choice voting. So that's one. Two, the other question, whether the city has put funding forward. There was a bill that was passed recently to allocate, I believe, $2 million to fund education for ranked choice voting. I'm working with a nonprofit, Rank the Vote NYC, who is focused on educating, and we are willing to train community members and others, individuals, anyone who's interested in training their community. We will come and we will provide a training for you so then that you can go out and speak with others about ranked choice voting, answer any questions, and of course, I'm willing to also come and assist with training. I have colleagues that work in all 5 boroughs of New York City, also conducting trainings on ranked choice voting. We also have several resources, including the deck that I just used on our website, rankthevotenyc.org. So there are some activities taking place, but of course, the more the merrier, especially in this pandemic. It's not looking like exactly how we thought. So we need everyone's help in making sure that our families are aware, our neighbors are aware. I've been preaching that each one teach one, each one reach one with this information. Let's start with our own families, our friends, and our neighbors, and that should help go a long way in training and making sure we're informed. I see.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you for answering Shanequa's question. I do have a concern. So I have a very large Garifuna population in my district. And I think that there's an issue with the language barrier. And I'm not sure how many languages the information for Rank the Vote carries, but the Garifuna population do not speak Spanish. Majority of them speak Garifuna. So is there a way that we can have the Garifuna language translated onto this, onto the literature? Can we also produce ranked choice voting in-person trainings for the residents in my district? Because we have over close to 200,000 immigrants in my district, and majority of them are from Garifuna.
So as I stated earlier, we do have people working in all 5 boroughs to provide those trainings. So I can leave my email address in the chat and we can discuss that further. I do know that we are adding various resources on our website in different languages as well. And we would definitely be willing to partner with those in the Garifuna community and train them so that they can also train others who speak the same language. So we
Okay.
work on that, yes.
And that's also mobile training? Like, do you?
I can't say exactly what type it is right now. We are in a pandemic, so we're not doing as much in person, but we are beginning to look at safe ways where we may possibly be able to do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
I'll
so much. I appreciate
in the
it.
chat. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much, Nicole. We really appreciate you again. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And we'll definitely be in touch with some future training sessions that we'll definitely be having you host for us. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much once again for having me. I don't know if anyone has any additional questions from Facebook or if any of the attendees have any questions.
We can check, but we also have another segment where we'll have Tamika, our other presenter that's here. But if there are other questions that come up, is it okay if I forward it over to you, Nicole? Okay, and you can always shoot it out to that person.
Okay.
And then I will.
I'll make sure I share your email address as well on Facebook because I know we have people are there.
Perfect. Thank you so
I was just gonna say, Tiffany, can you shoot that on Facebook? We're here, girl. We're here. So
once again, ladies, thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. Sheba, are you here? Do you wanna because I can't see you.
I don't know. My computer just was like, bye, and just knocked me off. It was okay. I was still looking at You Wonderful Women on my phone, so it's okay.
No worries. Do you want to introduce our amazing Tamika?
Yes. So my computer is really acting up today. I don't know what is going on. So Tamika Mapp is our state committee woman for District 68 in East Harlem. She is also my accountability partner. She has held my feet to the fire to do the work. And I've learned so much from her. She's an amazing mother. She is an amazing state committee woman. She's a business owner. She is always at the cutting edge of finding new and inventive ways to do the ordinary things that we take for granted. And she is someone that we should look to in moving our community and our city forward. So without further ado, I introduce Tamika Mapp to talk to us about petitioning.
Hi guys. So, okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I did this. Oh, can you let me share my screen? Please, thank you. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna do the dance, the screen share dance. All right.
Let's everybody move.
I'm gonna do the screen share dance. That's what we always do. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. Oh no. So we're gonna just talk about petitioning as it looks like for a voter compared to if you petition for a candidate. So petition is very important for us as a candidate. We have to make sure that we get 270 signatures to stay on the line. So if you're watching this, if you're doing volunteer, this is actually for you to make sure that you petition for each of us the correct way. It's a very easy process. So the first thing we have to make sure that you're a registered Democrat in the party. So meaning you must be registered Democrat to be able to sign the petitions. Your signature must match the voter record that's at the BOE, either in the Bronx or Manhattan's BOE. If you're going to be the person who actually going to carry the petitions must be in order. It cannot be out of order. And we do not cross out. We do not white out. We do not scribble on the petition. We make an error. We just exit the lines out and we initial the 4 points. So if you make a mistake on the date, you're going to exit out, you're going to initial your 4 points, and you're going to X out the next box, initial 4 points. You're going to exit the next box and issue the 4 points. You're only allowed to sign 1 petition per office. So therefore, if you know you have like 19 people running for city council in the district, you have to make sure, pick one that you sign, because when you sign the other 18 is no longer good. Your signature is only good for 1 office. So 1 mayor, 1 city council rep, 1 borough president, and 1 controller. Like I said before, you're going to sign your name exactly as it appears on your voter registration. Don't get fancy. Don't use no initials unless your initials are at the BOE. If you know that you don't have initials, do not get lazy. I need you to spell out your name as like you signed out for the voter registration. You cannot sign your petition as well. So if you're going to be carrying the petition, you cannot sign the petition and carry it at the same time. You must have somebody else witness your name, because you cannot witness your own name. This is what a petition form looks like. And this is everything. So as you know, in line, the first one, we always have our dates. The dates can be anything. The dates can be abbreviated. Some petitions automatically have the year filled in, and all you have to worry about is the month and the date. The first line is your signature. You sign on the first line. Your printed name goes in the second line. It's not the other way around. Your printed name should not be on the top line where it says name or signature. Your signature, exactly as it is at the Board of Election, must be on the top line. Your address, if you have an apartment number, please put your apartment number as per address. And then the town should be automatically filled in, so you do not have to worry about that. If you're going to be a person that's going to carry the petition, this is like really, really important to you. It's called the statement of witness. You need to make sure that the statement of witness is filled out correctly. Any mistakes on the statement of witness invalidates the whole sheet. Okay, so you're going to put in the one here, I am Tamika Mapp. I am Tamika Mapp. I'm a duly qualified voter of the state of New York, and I'm enrolled in the voter of the Democratic Party. If you are in the Independent Party, you need to write that you're enrolled in the Independent Party. If you're enrolled in the Green Party, you need to put the voter of the Green Party. You need to put your address. This is very important because sometimes we move and we forget to go to the Board of Elections and saying that we moved. If you moved, do not put your new address unless it is at the voter registration at the BOE. Make sure you update your address at the BOE so everything can match. Because what's going to happen is if someone decided that they're going to pull this petition, they're going to jump straight to the witness. And if your address is not matching your voter registration, that whole thing that you did is gone. No ands, no buts, no whats about it. Make sure the date matches the date that you got your signatures, and make sure you sign the signatures. And then the campaign will be able to do the rest, fill out the sheet number and put the identification number at the bottom. This is a sample of an incorrect petition. As you can see, the dates is all mixed up and mixed jumbled up right here. I did sign the top of my name, so that's correct. This is my wrong address, and the New York is correct. Number 2 is incorrect as well. I do not sign my name as initials, so all this is correct, incorrect, and this right here is incorrect. This right here, where it says number of signatures, it must match the number of signatures here. So this is wrong. This is automatically going to get thrown out because I put the number 5 here when I only have 3 signatures. So if you have 3 signatures here, the 3 signatures need to be matched right here. If you have 10 signatures here, the 10 number will be matched right there. Let's see what's wrong with this one. This one is completely wrong too. Every though I missed the date right here, it's very easily when you're doing a lot of petitions to miss a date. So if you're a candidate, just make sure when you get your petitions back every single day that all the dates are there, and making sure the witness statements are good. If it's no good, you can keep it with the stuff to add a fluff, and then you have to know that you got to get 10 more signatures the next day. That's no longer good. The safe thing is always get 3 times the amount of signatures that you need. So if you need 270, you need to get 800 and something or close to 1,000 to stay on the ballot. And that's it. Any questions?
I just wanted to make a comment, Tamika, and thank you so much for presenting and putting us together. I just want to make a comment in what happened in my experience, and I'm sure you probably can attest that. I want to really educate those that are listening that when you see candidates, especially Black women like us, so fierce and amazing, out there petitioning, we do need your support. We have, in my experience, many people think that you're signing your life away, or the assumptions that you are voting for us by signing your name on a petition. That is not what it means to put your signature on a petition. It means that you are allowing us to be able to compete in the race and to make the ballot. So I had to do a lot of education to a lot of my wonderful residents over here in the Northeast Bronx, that when you're putting your name down and signing a petition, you are not voting for us. You are just allowing us to make the ballot. So please be nice to the candidates that's out there asking for your signature. Even if you don't want to sign, please be polite, because it is a lot of work when we're out there on those streets. We're doing this for you. And believe me, it is not easy for those that are doing the real work. And you're looking at some amazing Black women that I can promise you are going to be out there petitioning and doing the work. So I just wanted to just sort of put that in there, because I thought that was important to mention. Thank you so much, Tamika.
Yeah, that's very important. I tell that always, and then make sure that you only sign it once. Especially if you're in a crowded city council race. If you sign it multiple times, unfortunately, only one person is going to get it, and it's going to go by timestamp at the Board of Elections. So if I decided to bring my petitions on March 22nd at 9:02, Shanequa comes at 9:04 with the same signature. Shanequa's signature is no longer good because my timestamp wins. So just please be mindful. As candidates, always like to ask, have you signed a petition before? If they say yes, I say thank you so much. Next. I don't waste the signature. I don't try to fluff the signatures, because if you get good signatures, it's hard to get you off. When you start fluffing it and standing at the corner of Subway and Target and the Subway and all that, you're not going to get good quality signatures, because them signatures can come from anywhere. They could be any different voter you possibly can. It won't be it. So just make sure that you go door to door, got your walk list, got your tunnel vision on safely with your little mask on, your little visor on, your gloves on. I give out pins because I don't want the pins back. I get out hand sanitizer to make sure they actually have the information when they sign. So it's a very safe process, even though I tried to make sure the governor can eliminate the process, but it's a process that we must go through. And like Shanequa says, please be nice to us. We have long days from 20 days in March 2nd to March 22nd. I am not going to be with my family. I have a 9-year-old and I have a wife. So they already know that from 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 o'clock at night for 20 days, I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning, my business shut down. It's like hustle time. We got to get these signatures so we can get on the ballot. And then that's when the real work begins, right? Once you're on the ballot, you're actually an official candidate. And then you can actually go and lend your support. And we always want you to volunteer. If you don't have that much money, volunteer is the best thing you can give to us candidates. If you don't like the phone, share a tweet, share a Facebook post. If you do like the phone, call me. I can give you a list because there's a lot of people who don't know what ranked choice voting is all about. And we need to do some education to make sure that we are educated. So thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you,
I know
Tamika.
there's a question really quick on Facebook that maybe you can answer before we wrap up, but someone asked, what happens if I sign a petition and I live in a different district?
Your signature is not good. You have to be able to live in where the voter registration is. So it just be dead. It would be no good at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tamika, can you repeat the fact that we should be going door to door and not standing on corners and in the subway, because we don't know who those voters are, and they could just be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be anywhere, right? So I live in, Harlem. I live by the Target, right? I live by the 116th Street Target. You know how many people travel from downtown from the Bronx to go to that Costco, to go to that Target? They're not living in my neighborhood, right? They can be all the way in Staten Island. They can be all the way in Queens. So it's not a good look. Every campaign should buy lists or should have van access. Van access is very important because there are sometimes people will go and sign dead people's names on your petition. So when you have van access, you can actually see who's dead, who moved, who's been inactive, because voter can be inactive for not voting consistently, right? They know that they registered to vote, and then when you look it up, they're no longer registered because they've been inactive because they haven't voted in the last 6 primaries. So you have to, voters make sure that you vote in every primary so you don't become inactive. It's a shame that we have to go through this. It's a shame that once we become a registered voter, that we stay a registered voter forever. It's not the case. If you don't vote consistently in the state of New York, your name is inactive, and now you have to do the process all over again to make your name active. So that's another thing that you have to worry about as well.
And to add to that, Tamika, I just want to say to the listeners who are tuning in right now, if for some reason that candidates are petitioning before the actual petitioning date, by all means, please report them to the Board of Elections, because that is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. I've been hearing some concerns from the residents about candidates are, knocking on doors. And I hope that, they're not petitioning, but this is just, something to put out there to the listeners. Please, by all means, report them to the Board of Election. There are rules and regulations that needs to be followed, and we all have to respect the voters' education law.
Right.
Okay.
It's a plus for us when they violate the law, right? But we have to educate them as well, right? It's a twofold, right? If you play that little nasty game, you saw what happened in 2020 with Carmen, right? She fraudulently did it, and she didn't have a primary. Okay, so that but as a voter, just make sure that you don't sign nobody else's petitions before March 2nd. The last day to do it is March 25th. After that, it's no longer good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Tamika, for this great presentation and the information that you provided to not only to us as the candidates, but to the audience. As always, you're amazing, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
I just wanted to make a quick call to action before we go. So we're Black women candidates, as you can see. You heard about our platforms. Tiffany put up our website, so you can check us out a little more. I want to make a call to action to please volunteer for one of us. Like Tiffany said earlier, if you don't have $1, that's fine. If you can come out and just do 1 hour with one of us, that 1 hour will make all the difference, believe me. So if you can volunteer, we'll give you instructions on how to do that. Again, you can visit our website, but I'm asking you to please put your support and your weight behind us Black women that's out here doing the work. We do appreciate you. Remember, it is still Black History Month. I had to check and look at the calendar real quick.
I'm Black all day, every day.
Wait a minute, ladies, and it's about to be Women's History Month, all right?
Yes.
So
yes.
come through for us. Come through. Show your support, and we love you all. Thank you so much for joining us and for watching.
All right. Bye, everyone. Good luck with those petitions, ladies.
Good luck,
Thank you. You
everybody.
too, ladies.
So
See y'all later.
I'll be done in 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
7 days.